everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the combination of transformations. So we're going to take all those transformations that we talked about in the previous videos, and we're going to put them all into one function. So when we're combining these things, order does matter. Okay, order matters. So first thing that you need to do is you need to stretch it. So vertical stretches or vertical compressions where we're looking for those constants that are on the outside of the function multiplying the function. Then we need to flip it, which is the reflections that we talked about. So that's your negative sign on the front of the function, multiplying the functions on the outside, and then shift it is the last one where we look for those constants that are on the inside adding to the x values, or the constants on the back end adding or subtracting to the function. Okay, so stretch it, flip it, shift it. Let's make that a mantra. Okay, so first thing that we need to do here is the same thing with all the other transformations that we talked about. Is first thing we need to do is identify our parent function. I got to identify the parent function. Now this one's really easy to tell. This is our square root function. And if you need a little picture, it looks like this. It starts with that bullet point because we need to stop at 0, 0 because we can't have negative numbers underneath the radical. All right, so second thing, just like last time, is we need to identify our shifts, or in this case, our transformations, because there's not just shifts anymore. Transformations. Okay, so let's identify these things. The first thing that we need to do is we need to stretch it. So let's just go in order here. So the first thing we need to do is identify those constants that are multiplying on the outside. So this, I'm just going to label it 1. We're going to do that one first. So this is a stretch. And what are we doing? We are multiplying by 2 our y values. So times 2 our y values. Okay, that's going to vertically stretch it. Next up, we need to flip it. So I'm looking for that negative sign right there on the outside of the function. This is number 2. Okay, and what is this going to do? Well, this is going to reflect our function over the x-axis, but what is it doing to our key points? Well, we are negating our y values when we do that. We're negating our y values. And lastly is we need to shift it. So I'm looking for those constants on the inside of the function. This is x plus 1, so we're thinking that we're going to go in the positive direction over here, but remember that x plus 1, if we solve that down to, for x, if after we set it equal to 0, we see that x is actually negative 1, so we're actually moving to the right. Actually moving to the, or excuse me, the left. We're going to the left, 1. And what are we doing with our key points here? We are subtracting 1 from our x values. Subtract 1 from our x values. And so this is number 3. This is our third step right there. And the last step, this is another number 3. We're going to shift this up. That's technically plus 3. Usually you saw it on the other side over here, but now they just threw it out in front. So don't be weirded out by that. It's still a vertical shift. So this is going to shift up 3 units. And what are we doing? We're adding 3 to our y values. All right, so now we've identified all of our not parent functions, but all of our transformations. So next step is we need to adjust our key points. Key points. Okay, so let's start off with our key points. So if you recall, it's 0, 0, and then we go 1, 1, and then we're only doing the nice square root. So the next one is 4, 2, and then 9, 3. Okay, So let's take this one step at a time. The first one that we do is right here in the blue. We're going to multiply our y values. So we're going to leave the x values and just multiply our y values by 2. So 0, 0 stays put. The 1 stays. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 and 2 times 2 is 4 now. And then we keep the 9. 3 times 2 is 6. So this guy is done. Next up is in red. We're going to negate our y values. So again, all of the x values stay 0 and then still 0. Keep the 1. This now turns to -2. Keep the 4. This now turns to -4. Keep the 9. This now turns to -6. So number 2 is done. And then the third step, I'm going to do all in one, just like I did in the other videos for our shifts. So what are we doing first? We are decreasing our x values by 1 here. So decrease our x values by 1, -1. That goes to 0. 4 goes to 3. And 9 goes to 8. From my commas. And now what am I doing with my y's? I'm increasing them by 3. So 0 goes to 3. -2 goes to +1. -4 goes to -1. And -6 goes to -3. And voila, we have our completed transformation points right here. So all we got to do, last step, is to plot and graph. Plot and graph. Plot and graph. I'm weird, I know. So we got -1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Oh, I forgot my little point. Remember, that's our little dot right there. So we know where to stop. And then we got 0, 1. 3, -1. And 8, -3. And remember to make this curvy. So we're going to start right here. And we're just going to make it curvy. And there you go. That is how we do the combination of transformations. It's a little bit more involved, but if you just follow the steps here, I think it'll make your life a lot easier. And just remember, stretch it, flip it, shift it. Stretch it, flip it, shift it. Shout it like a mantra. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video where we go through a couple of worked out examples for a combination of transformations. I will see you then. Bye.